This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Good morning, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel, and thank you so much for tuning in this morning. Happy Sunday to everyone. And in the news this morning, 30 U.S.-based criminals directing crime in Jamaica targeted by GCF sees Anderson. The Commissioner of Police, Major General Anthony Anderson, says that 30 individuals residing in the United States who he described as influencers of crime and violence in Jamaica are on the radar of the Jamaica Constabulary Force and are being actively pursued. Anderson made the disclosure on Tuesday during a press briefing at the office of the Prime Minister, where Prime Minister Andrew Holness announced the declaration of 8 states of emergency. Anderson, who was at pains to explain that SOEs are not just about detaining people, clarified an earlier statement he made that the previous SOEs, which ran from November 15 to 29, were mostly focused on 300 violence producers for whom the JCF has prepared intelligence packages. As the Prime Minister says, we are also working with our overseas partners on some of this. We have a target list of 30 who reside in the U.S. who we are doing some work on, said Anderson. Those who are over there who believe that they are supporting violence and crime in Jamaica and that they are doing so without anybody paying any attention to them, they are sorely mistaken, the Commissioner warned. Along with our partners, we will deal with that aspect of things also, he stated. When asked by a reporter how many of the persons who were detained during the last round of SOEs were charged, Anderson admitted it was just a few. But he pointed out that there are a suite of operations that take place under a state of public emergency that cause persons to make different decisions and choices, and who are in the criminal underworld, and also those who we know that are significant violence producers, to bring them in. Anderson said it's not only 300 people who are involved in violence in Jamaica. We take some 700 guns off the roads per year, and people are still out there shooting. Meanwhile, Holness left the island for Washington, D.C. on Tuesday after announcing the latest SOEs. He disclosed that his trip was to hold talks with the relevant authorities with the aim of getting better cooperation on identifying and dealing with persons in the United States who are actively involved in crime and violence in Jamaica. The Prime Minister said his visit was to start the process of getting a more intense cooperation in treating with the foreign actors in our local crime, those dons, those who have migrated overseas, that in this Christmas season they will be sending the bag of rice and all the other goodies in the barrel. But secreted in that bag of rice, wrapped up in that blanket, will be a gun or ammunition or parts thereof. He had a warning for those who believe they are untouchable. They can't feel that they are free to influence, direct, solicit, and finance crime in Jamaica, so I headed to Washington to have meetings with the Justice Department, the FBI, and other entities there. You're overseas and you're sponsoring, directing, soliciting, or financing crime in Jamaica, we're going to get you. Jamaicans urged to protect themselves against the dengue fever. Jamaicans are being encouraged to take the necessary safeguards to avoid contracting dengue fever. This urging comes from Medical Officer of Health, St. Elizabeth Health Services, Dr. Tonya Dawkins-Beharry, who implored the persons not to become complacent in the fight against the mosquito-borne disease. She was addressing the monthly meeting of the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation in Black River on Thursday, December 8. She informed that St. Elizabeth's Aedes aegypti mosquito index for November was 9.9%, which was lower than the figure for the corresponding period in 2021. She said despite this, persons should remain persistent in mitigating the spread of the disease. We want to advise everybody that September to March is our usual dengue season, so we remain on alert. Even though our Aedes index is quite okay right now, we must remain on the alert, Dawkins-Beharry underscored. The medical officer pointed out that some sections of St. Elizabeth have been experiencing frequent rainfall, which has caused a spike in the Colex mosquito population. Against this background, she reiterated several steps persons can take to better protect themselves. We ask persons to prevent themselves from being bitten by mosquitoes by covering up, wearing mosquito repellent, and using other methods to prevent being bitten, and also to search and destroy breeding sites in and around the homes, Dawkins Beheri shared. She said the parish's vector control team continues to ramp up efforts to prevent the transmission of dengue and other mosquito-borne diseases through adulticidal activities coupled with public sensitization engagements. Senator Campbell Rodriguez wants stiffer fines for litter bugs. Government Senator Natalie Campbell Rodriguez is calling for stiffer fines for litter bugs. To this end, she said it was time for the Solid Waste Management Act to be brought before a joint select committee of the Parliament for review. She made the call in the Senate on Friday as she closed the 2022-2023 State of the Nation debate. There needs to be greater fines for littering. There needs to be a system to penalize the owners of cement trucks that spill their contents along roadways and cause unnecessary and avoidable road damage, which also leads to a shortchanging of the purchasers of concrete, Campbell Rodriguez remarked. Despite the recent arrival of 50 garbage compactors, she stated that an elephant in many rooms is the state of litter and debris across this country. Mr. President, the place dirty, said Campbell Rodriguez, while lamenting that plastic bottles, garbage, etc. are around the place in the open and around the corners and in the gullies. There is no denying that more needs to be done to keep Jamaica clean and beautiful, she added. The government senator highlighted that with the recent arrival of 50 new garbage trucks, there are now roughly 110 garbage trucks in the system, with another 50 on order for delivery in the near future. The ability to in a timely manner collect garbage across the island will help to alleviate the problems we now face. Additionally, we know that as a people, our garbage is more and more complex than it was, say, 20 years ago, but our garbage disposal systems have not been upgraded enough to match the complexity. That is the reason that 2 new waste disposal sites are being built, said Campbell Rodriguez. Continuing, she said, "Hear me clearly. New dumps are not being built. Instead, modern sanitary landfills are what are being constructed. In the near future, there will no longer be uncontrollable fires at Riverton Dump. According to the lawmaker, the Riverton Dump has served us well, but also has caused much pain." She urged that until the new facilities are up and running, and until the sector is privatized, as stated by the Prime Minister, us as a people need to take responsibility for keeping our immediate and wider surroundings cleaner. Let us commit not to tossing trash through our vehicle windows or on the streets when we walk. Businesses need to pay to discard rubbish properly. Families living near drains and gullies need to not dump the garbage from their backyards into these facilities. The government has a responsibility to ensure the country is kept clean, as do every citizen to contribute to that cleanliness. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.